You can see that I've moved my schematic cannon to the incomplete staircase that goes down into my greenhouse, apiary, wombo combo. And that means that we've got something big. You can see I have a material checklist, and that means we have 16 pages of something big. And if we get to the last couple of pages where I've started filling in some of the things, you can kind of guess what we're getting at. Especially when we get to these last few items, the windmill bearing and the windmill sail. I have spent, how many hours? 5, 6 hours in creative mode figuring out exactly how I want my windmill to attach to what we already have currently. And I haven't fully fleshed out some of the stuff, but I've got a functional windmill, and I think it looks good, and I might add like some extra roofing elements down the road. But we have it in creative mode. We do not have it here in the Vault Hunter series, and that's what this clipboard is for. So what I'm planning on doing for this build phase is just going down the list of remaining items alphabetically and trying to do as many, if not all of these, today, so that tomorrow I can edit and have this ready for Saturday. And if I'm fast enough, if I'm lucky enough, then we will have a properly functioning windmill this weekend. So first up, A is for andesite. I'm pretty sure I already have some of this, but I'm just gonna speedily skip through to all of the footage where I actually get the stuff. Andesite. Andesite casing. Attribute filter. Basalt. Excuse me, what's that?
Yeah, hi. The editor says this is too much work, so skip ahead to the next bit.
So we're not doing the reading thing, we're just gonna skip to some of the juicier bits?
Yeah, that's what they said.
Well, then why'd you give me this script, god? Then I need a rotation speed controller, and we are really zipping along at this point in time. All things considered. Oh, this is the part where I die a little bit on the inside, because this is going to require a lot of work. 80% creation chance and a 20% chance of random salvage. That's garbage. Alright, one more time. Come on, please work, please work, please work, no whammies. You know, I really should have expected that. I really should have expected that, because that was just the saddest possible outcome that could have possibly happened just there. And the worst thing is, I'm absolutely gonna just try it all over again. Come on, no whammies this time, please. I can just see it out of the corner of my thing. Why? Why? Why would you... What sadist made the recipe that requires 5 iterations have only an 80% chance of success? Ugh. You know, it'd be one thing if this recipe didn't have so many dang components to it. But it does. It has just so much resources to it that giving an 80% failure chance is just so... just the absolute worst. And like, I can tell that I'm just burning through so many resources here. This is just... I swear, if it doesn't work this time, I am genuinely considering going into the config files and removing that. You know, the worst thing is, I don't even know if this is a create thing, like if the 80% failure chance is just baked into create, and, you know, whoever integrated it into the pack didn't think, oh yeah, the 80% failure chance makes sense when you're working with fewer resources, and then just didn't update it for, you know, the ridiculous amounts of chromatic iron that this wastes, combined with, come on, please. Oh, thank God. Oh, jeez. I might still update that recipe, just because this, and this is so much harder in this pack. That's ridiculous. I'm gonna be on that for a while. 80% failure chance. My God. Okay. But this time, I need brass, and I need chromatic iron block. I don't even know why I put this stuff away. I know that this pack consumes chromatic iron like it's going out of business. And it's not. Chromatic iron is very much at a premium. Hello? Oh, no, it's a whole, yeah, it's a whole brass block. That makes sense. Alright, you know what? I'm not even going to be mad about that. That's me forgetting. But I am still quite incensed about the 80% fail chance on the precision mechanism. I mean, 80% success chance, and the fact that I failed twice. That's just the most unbelievable luck. And also the fact that, you know, just all of the recipes require vault stuff. Like, that just feels double plus ungood. Alright. That feels so bad. Alright. 44 shafts. Gross. Gross, 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 gross. Okay, and I am gonna need some snow. Whatchamacallits. I don't know if that's because I totally messed up at some point in time, or what, but, I'm gonna drink my tea. I'm gonna drink my tea, which is hot, and try to cool my brain down.
Sometime later.
Whew, only a few pages left, and so much spruce. So much spruce. The worst part is, once I've gotten the spruce, then I need to strip the spruce. So, 500... Oh, 7 and 52. I just totally realized it does the math for me. So I need 7 stacks and then 52 spruce. This is just nuts. Actually nuts. I don't know why I did this to myself. Oh, did I say 7 stacks 52? 7 stacks 52. That's even worse. This is so rough. This is what I get for making my wooden supports so intricate. Every time. But trust me, you guys, this windmill is going to be worth it. I might be grousing and griping right now, but it's going to be the best dang windmill that I have ever built. Heckin' chickens, man. Heckin' chickens, man. Really screwing with me. Really, really screwing with me. Just like that. Just absolutely hecking heck. No. I don't need you. I don't need you. Why did I get so many chickens? Why did I get so many chickens? Ugh. Maybe it's because I made all of my plans before I started getting heavy into cagerium. And so I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to need these industrial quantities of chickens and eggs and stuff. No, I did not. No, I did not. What an absolute fool I was for thinking that I needed this many chickens. It didn't even start out like this. I only had, 4 or 5, but then I just kept throwing eggs all over the island. And you know what's happened? Check my minimap. All of those red dots are items. Those are all eggs. Those are all eggs. every last one of them. And it's a good thing that my computer is as powerful as it is, because that would definitely be causing a lot of lag. All of them are eggs. See, look at this. Look at this. All of them are eggs. Okay, so I need tough brick stairs, tough brick vertical. Why am I like this? Why do I do this to myself? Like, don't get me wrong, this is gonna look fantastic. Trust the process. But, dang. Yes, let's just use random variants of specific blocks. That will give more texture to the wall, and it will also make my life harder. So much harder. Okay, anything that ventures up after this point in time does so at its own peril. I have attempted to block off the construction area the best I can, and without going all the way around the island, which would be far more time-consuming than I desire at this point in time tonight, I think we finally push the button. Now I just need to find a good place for this, because I know this is going to be fairly big. And I think something like that maybe should suffice. And let the time-lapse roll. "6 hours of creative mode building, 3.5 hours of material gathering, 35 minutes of schematic cannoning, and another good 30 to 40 minutes of cleanup, 3D printing, error correction, and the like later, and also moving animals all the way across to the village because they were getting in the way a lot. And it is finally time for us to activate the windmill bearing. I have already confirmed that everything is glued up correctly, so we just need to right-click this Yes, advancement made. Let's just peek on through using FreeCam. Oh, yeah. Let's just take a look at this. This is easily my most proud windmill. And because of the Create mod, it is also a functional windmill. There are many sources that this is based on. Now, the first one, I have to admit, I have to give thanks to Gemini Tay, without whom I never would have thought about trying to make my roof into a gradient or anything other than blocks that have slabs and stairs. Because as you can see, we've got some nice roof shapage with our sort of framework on the exterior there. And this windmill is a combination of both Dutch and almost sort of traditional Norwegian architecture, just, based upon old Norse structures. And so we have that sort of framework going on. And then, I never would have thought about using just full blocks in the roof if it weren't for Gem. So thank you, Gem. The next thing that I have to thank is this gradient tool that's online. And it uses 1.21 blocks, so I'm at a bit of a disadvantage when it selects something like mud for a gradient, but I can make do. And without that, I wouldn't have been able to get such lovely transitions everywhere. And the idea is that we have, this deep slate roof, and it is a deep slate roof, technically speaking. And, we get some black stone and some other darker colors down as we go further into the foundation. But then on the west side of the island, where the wind blows in from, picks up all that moisture from the lake and the surrounding environment, and then it starts to frost on that side of the windmill. And so that's why we've got these lovely gradients that start off light and then end up going into the darker blacks. And I think I'm going to carry that over to my villager trading hall. I think I am going to go with the whole frost into sort of a more green color. Green, of course, because of the emeralds that villagers trade you. And so that is one lovely detail that between Gem and the gradient planner, I wouldn't have been able to do this build without it. Now, the next thing, I looked up, Dutch windmill specifications, and the tallest Dutch windmill is 33.3 meters, if I remember reading correctly. And if I remember my count correctly, this is 31, I think? So this is almost even proportionally accurate. And then the wingspan of it is 26 meters, something like that, and I believe I'm at 25 with this windmill. And the other nice thing, if we just come around to the back here, Dutch windmills, they have like this sort of structure that they tie their windmill sails to, and that's kind of what I did with the trapdoors here and the combination of wool blocks and Create mod windmill sails. And I think that's just a lovely touch. It adds a little bit of dimensionality. It makes it look like a real proper windmill. And then we also have some lovely details with the trapdoors on the side. We also used some wattle and daub blocks in order to get these lovely details here. And they're also on the inside too, like behind these trapdoors, so that we have the same detailing on the inside as we do outside, more or less. You'll also notice that we have some shutters here, spruce shutters, I believe, yes. And they are even technically speaking functional, except for the fact that I put these fence gates in here that I really think kind of make it look like they're connected to the shutters, and just adds a little bit of extra detail. So unfortunately, if you try to close the shutters, you are going to target this fence gate instead and close that, but I think on the whole, it makes the window look much nicer, and we also have these plank parapets that add sort of like a bottom window ledge or sill or whatever you would call it, and I think that just makes it look a lot nicer. It makes this thing look a lot less flat, despite the fact that it is very flat. And I think the shape as well turned out very well. I wasn't expecting that. It was like I was possessed when building this, but it really does say that if you look at references, whether it be other people's builds, and this is not a copy of a build, mind you, I just watched a couple of videos to get ideas for how to shape this thing, and also traditional Dutch architecture, and Norwegian as well. And so I just incorporated those elements to make this windmill feel more realistic, and by golly, does it ever feel realistic. Now, if we pop inside the windmill, back to me, we can go downstairs, and you can see that we've got this nice plating wall as sort of these edge bits. And we're also using this lovely technique that there was a video on Facebook, so unfortunately I can't find it anymore. But it was just a simple bridge, but they had this technique that I wasn't aware of, that if you place a fence gate next to a wall, it's actually lower. So you place wall, fence gate, another fence gate, which then raises up to its typical level, and then, you know, fence gate, wall, and you get this lovely sort of curvature that you otherwise wouldn't get. And I feel like that makes for a better railing than if I were to just use fences, or even, I forget what it's called, but we're going to see some down below. Now, typical spiral staircase design, can't really speak too much about this. It's a bit of a pain to go up and down. You'll notice that I do have snow on the deck. Up on the roof I have placed string. I forgot to put that in my schematic, so it is what it is. But that just means I'll have to shovel. I kind of don't want string all over my deck like this. But you can see over here that we've got dark oak railing on this side because, and again, like Dutch windmills, they have like this exterior balcony that's above the entry level in order to be able to service the windmill blades. So theoretically, if I wanted to stop this, I could actually jump up and touch the sails, but I don't want to. It's a windmill. It's supposed to be functional. And I used these dark oak board walls because walls, you know, you don't have to place adjacent in order to block people from walking off the edge. We have more of that build technique here, only using fences instead of fence gates. And again, I really like how these sort of curve into each other like this. That's personal taste, I suppose, but I really like it. And of course, we've lit up this place fairly well. There are a couple of places on the outside that I don't think are currently lit up, and I think I might torch spam just for a little bit, but I'm not too concerned about creepers. Oh, I've actually gone just a little bit too far. Now let's take a look at all of the stuff that we've got going on here. We've got sort of this big gearbox that we don't even really need per se. I just thought it looked better than having just a create gearbox in the middle here. So we have our own gearbox with 3 large cogwheels, and you can see that it's turning a mechanical bearing down here, and we'll get back to that. For now, let's pop back in here, and you can see that we've got this sort of E. It's kind of unintentional. I just placed extra casing because I thought it looked structurally more sound, but it also makes an E, and you can see that we're kind of transferring power by just doing a zigzag of large gear, small gear, large gear, small gear, and at the bottom we have a speed controller set to 60 RPM. That's doing a whole bunch of things, but we'll get back to that, and I don't have any wheat on me, so I'm gonna have to go get some of that after a cut. But if we take a look, we have a giant millstone. And this doesn't work at all like the create millstones. Gotta sleep. So as I was saying, this top level that's connected to the mechanical bearing is completely non-functional. It's just some stone stairs. It just looks like a big rotating grist mill, or whatever you would call it. Now the real secret is, if we pop back into FreeCam and just sort of peek into the floor here, we do actually have, it might be surrounded? I think it might be surrounded. Oh, no, yep, we can see it from this angle. We have an actual millstone underneath our purely decorative one. And thanks to some creative trickery involving belts and funnels and hoppers and the like, we can actually use this windmill. Right, turn off my magnet. That would be better. To throw wheat into a hopper, which goes down into a smart chute, which I actually haven't confirmed has the right filter, so I might need to come back. But because I'm just throwing wheat into it, it should work just fine. And we should, any moment, start seeing wheat come out of this. Should, being the operative word. I mean, not wheat, flour. Flour! We should start seeing flour come out of this. Sheesh. Okay, getting just a little vaguely concerned here. Just a little bit. It's on the belt. that makes me think that something else is on the belt, and I'm gonna have to get in here and fix that real quick. I think if I just cut through these planks... Yeah, there we go. So I should be able to see what else there is going on here. Yeah, 64 wheat, gearbox. It is somewhat problematic that I do have the gearbox there. I did not bring my creative wrench, so that's also bad. This tells me, though, that there's, like, something blocking it. Alright, I think if I break this, that's just gonna stop. Egg. Yep. Yep. The chickens strike again. Poultry Man. It's Poultry Man. And now that's been fixed. So we should be able to just jump out of here, I think. Oh. Yeah, so the thing is, I knew something like that might happen. I tried migrating the chickens off of the mill, and yep, now it's starting to pour in. Let me come back here again and just double check the filter, because I don't think that's the problem, but I want to see if it's still correctly set to can be crushed. Yes! Alright, because in Create Above and Beyond, if you had a filter, it wouldn't, like, retain the settings if you used it in a schematic cannon. Oh, this is so cool! It's just working! I mean, I knew it would. I've tested this in creative, but seeing it in survival is just so much cooler. And now, if we pop down into the mine shaft, there is one more thing that we can do here before we call it for this week. And that is, if I just pop on up here, I should be able to right-click this now. And we are now on an elevator. We are now on a stationary contraption here, and I am going to need to put pressure plates on this block here on every level, but now we should be able to come downstairs and see that we have a Heckin floor link here. Yeah, we do. All right. Come on. And I want to call this ground floor, because it is ground floor. And that is some more very cheeky create stuff where we have a shaft hidden under the... Is it under the millstone, I think? Well, let's see if this goes all the way to the bottom correctly, because I think I've placed everything in. Oh, yeah, this is nice. Smooth, 60 RPMs. And I don't think I'm going to quite get rid of my warp plate until I've ensured that all of the contacts are in place, and I've also named them what I want them to. Hi, villager! Yeah! Oh, that is so satisfying. That is so satisfying! Alright, yes, we have really got a cool set of build phase stuff going on today, and I'm just gonna pop back onto the elevator. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and click that bell to be notified. And as always, I'm looking forward to your feedback in the comments below. And with that, I will catch you on the flip side. Thanks for watching, everybody.